Hi guys, it's Emmarie, and in today's video I'm going to be helping you with your confidence by showing these really cute scrunchy hairstyles so you can dress up your hair easily and in a really fun way because you are enough. In today's video I'm going to be using these 3 scrunchies. They are by Brooklyn & Bailey. I've used lots of scrunchies in my day because it's me. Anything to do with hair. I wanted to try these ones because they had the cute little bows you could like take off. I feel like they come off right here. And then you could just use it as a normal scrunchie, and so like options. But like then I fell in love with like the quality of them. These are so good. They hold my hair like no other scrunchie I've ever tried. I highly recommend these. This is not sponsored or anything. I just love them. I'm going to be showing you 4 cute, easy, very versatile hairstyles. You can like make them a little bit more fancier, make them a little bit more simple. Do whatever you want. Okay, let's get into the video. So I'm starting this first hairstyle off with a center part-ish. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be completely center. And then you're just going to take all the hair on top of your head-ish. I'm going for like about my temple on one side, part it out, and you're going to comb it back. And if you have this like little hairline like I do where it kind of dips back and then goes forward, you can always take some eyeshadow and fill that in if you don't like the look of it. But I'm just going to take it back, and then I'm going to position this ponytail kind of not exactly on top, kind of like towards the side of my head a little bit more than I normally would for a space bun. Then I'm going to take a small elastic, and we're using elastic beforehand just so we can have a little bit more control. If you don't want to use an elastic, if you feel like you got that down, it's just a little bit easier for me personally. See how it's like not like right on top of my head, it's more like to the side. What I like to do next is kind of pull at the front of my hairline just to make this part a little bit more relaxed and not so like slick back. Make it look a little bit more adult-ish. And then all I'm gonna do is divide the hair in half, and we're gonna do a rope braid. Super duper easy, one of the easiest braids out there. Got 2 sections. You're gonna twist both sections in one direction, so see how I'm twisting them separately to my right, and I'm gonna take them together and twist them to the left, and you're just gonna keep doing that all the way down. Super easy. I love rope braids because I think they're just a little bit more unique looking. Also, they make the best messy buns that look a little bit more put together than maybe a normal messy bun would. Take another elastic, tie it off. The thing that makes the bun look super pretty, so I really recommend doing this, is just stretching out the braids. You're just gonna pull on the pieces. Be careful not to like completely undo the braid. Okay, and then you're just going to wrap it around itself. You can decide if you want it more flat or like kind of more high up. Just take a bobby pin or 2 and secure it down. You'll have the scrunchie on top of it, so you don't have to worry too much about it staying. Make sure to get all your little baby hairs, and you can pull it apart even more once you get it pinned down. I don't want to mess with too much until I get it in the scrunchie. Okay, I'm just gonna do the exact same thing on the other side real quick. Oh, also, if you don't have hair that's long enough to do a rope braid, you can just do whatever kind of messy bun you want to do. It doesn't have to be a rope braid. It's just like one of my favorite ways to do a messy bun. Okay, I got both buns. They're not exactly the way I want them, but that's okay because we're gonna add the scrunchies and then we can see for sure how we want to finish them off. So for these ones, since the buns are so close together, I think I'm gonna take off the little bow part so there's not like too much going on. If you wanted to, you could leave some pieces hanging out up front, and once you get them in the scrunchies, you can really mess around with the braid, or yeah, pulling apart the braids because you have the scrunchies to support them. So, and then also, like I said, if you don't like the look of that little hairline situation going on, you just take some eyeshadow and fill it in. Look at the difference. That took me like literally less than 5 minutes. And that's it for hairstyle number 1. So for this next one, I'm going to part my hair just a little bit further to one side, not a ton, and then I'm going to take a section that's like right up front, just like a few inches back, right next to my part, and divide it into 3, and we're going to do a Dutch braid just for a couple of stitches, okay? So you're going to take one section, go underneath the middle, take the other section, go underneath the middle. I'm actually going to make sure I leave some hair. Take a small section, add it to that, go underneath the middle, If you need a tutorial for a Dutch braid, I can link some in the description box. And I'm just making sure to take sections right next to the French braid, or the Dutch braid, sorry. And I'm just going to take about 3 sections on each side. So that was 2 for that side. 1 more, I think. 3 or 4, something like that. I lost count. And 1 more on this side. And then I'm just gonna switch to a normal braid. And I'm just gonna keep going back towards the back middle of my head. And I'm just gonna keep braiding down until I can reach about the middle of the back of my head. And if you have bangs, and you're running into a situation where like one of the strands is getting a lot thinner because it was like mostly bangs, you can kind of just like add some in from another strand to kind of help you along until you get far enough down. And I'm just gonna bobby pin this for a second, and then I'm gonna go in and pull this apart pretty big. I want this to be nice and loose, and especially at the ends where the hairstyle is gonna all come together. And then I'm just gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, then once you have your 2 braids, you're just going to move them to the back of your head. Take out the bobby pins, add an elastic, and kind of unravel the rest of the braid. Okay, we're gonna make 2 bubbles in the tail of the braid. So if you don't have a lot of hair left over in that tail, you can pick some hair up right underneath and add it in and no one will notice. And add in your scrunchie. And I want to make these bubbles pretty big just to balance out the fact that we have some bigger scrunchies holding it together. So I'm just going to take my fingers and kind of back comb the hair just a little bit. Nothing major, just to kind of help. It's because my hair's so thin. If you have thicker hair, girlfriend, you probably don't need to do that. Okay, you're just going to take all the hair in the ponytail, go just like a couple inches down, and add in your scrunchie. Okay, then you're just going to pull at that hair that's in between the 2 scrunchies to make the bubble. And also pull down and tighten up the scrunchie, that helps too. Okay, and then we're just going to do that one more time if you have enough hair. If you don't have enough hair, you can stop right there. I do, and so I'm just going to add 1 more bubble. And we're done with hairstyle number 2. Okay, so for the next one, we're gonna keep the part where it was already, where it's just kind of off to the side. And all we're gonna do is take the same kind of size section as before and do a Dutch braid. So you're just going to follow your hairline as you're going down, taking smaller sections, and make sure that they are pretty close to the braid. So like this one right here, I literally grabbed that little piece right next to that strand, picked it up and added it in. Then go under, and I'm going to kind of angle it, but not really. I'm just mostly following the part line. And I'm just going to go all the way down until I reach the bottom of my ear. So my goal is to kind of angle the braid so it still follows my part line. It's not like going like way back. It'll land like right underneath my ear by the time we're done adding in sections. And if all the hair doesn't get added in, that's okay. You can just add it in to the ponytail once you're done braiding. Okay. And then once I reach the back of my ear, I'm gonna stop adding in sections, braid it down a little bit further just to make sure that the braid doesn't come undone. And then make sure if there is any hair that I missed, that I grab it right now. Grab a scrunchie, and then I think I want to keep the bows on, but I think I want them to go in the back. And then I'm just gonna stretch out my braid, because if you haven't figured it out by now, I like stretching out braids, but this is definitely one that you do not have to. This is just personal preference. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. And that's it for hairstyle 3. Super easy. Okay, and then for this next hairstyle, gonna keep them apart the same. I'm gonna flip all the hair to one side of my head. Maybe leave out like a couple pieces or something like that. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do another Dutch braid because that's all I know how to do apparently. They're just my favorite. But really, you could do any kind of braid you want. I just wanted this to be kind of consistent, so that way you didn't feel too overwhelmed that I was doing like 50 different kinds of braids. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the same thing where I take smaller sections. Don't worry about necessarily scooping up all the hair, just kind of focusing on the hair that's near the braid. Let's pull out a little guy right there. And I'm just gonna go all the way down to behind my ear to do kind of like a low ponytail. And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, and then once we get to kind of the low ponytail range, I'm just going to do a normal braid a couple times. Make sure the braid doesn't come unraveled. And then I'm going to scoop up all the hair that was not added in the braid. Add it all into one low ponytail. So we start with white this time. I can do like an ombre effect. And tie it off with the scrunchie. Then I'm going to stretch out the braid because I can. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take my next scrunchie and go a couple inches down. I want these bubbles to be kind of like huge. Because like I said, when you're doing hairstyles with scrunchies, you don't want like super thin kinds of braids necessarily, just because the scrunchies can kind of like take over your hair if you're not careful. So I'm just messing around with it, pulling at it just like I did with that other hairstyle a minute ago. Tightening the ponytail. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do that one more time. And there's that hairstyle. If you want to see my 2-in-1 workout hairstyles, you can click right here. If you want to check out my waterfall space bun tutorial, you can click right here. And if you want to subscribe, you can click right here. I love you guys so much, and don't ever forget that you are enough. Bye!